Good evening, everyone. It is November 5th. It's election day. When I'm recording this, it's 2 days before. Well, some about 30 hours before. But I gotta record this early so I have enough time to prepare. So today I am going over the final early votes since early voting has now officially been completed. We'll go over several states today. We will go over Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan, Georgia, and Florida. So let's get started here. So a big gap here for the Democrats. Well, very decent gap, 401,000 vote lead here. But look at that, 55 to 32. 55.8 to 32.8. That's plus 33 points. That is not as big as it was in 2020, but there's not as much early voting as there was in 2020. But the good news for Democrats, a lot of their votes are still from here. They're getting a lot of votes here and in Pittsburgh itself, which is still great news. So let's go over their leads in the key counties. First up, I'm going to turn off the total. So here we go. Let's go now into Erie, the closest county of the mall in Pennsylvania. A, a 9,000 vote advantage here in Erie County for the Democrats, which is 63 to 28.6. So this is about 35.5, basically percentage point lead here in Erie County. Pretty decently lead here in Erie, but not a lot of votes. We'll see what's going on in Erie on Tuesday. Um, well, we'll see what happens when polls close here. And now let's go over to Northampton. I believe that is Northampton. I believe that's Northampton. All right, not a bad lead here for the Democrats. It's 12,000 vote lead here, and it's a 21 point lead, 21.1% lead here in Northampton in the early vote returns. But a lot of votes are for the Democrats are right here, southeast Pennsylvania. Let's go over that. So Philadelphia. Well, we'll start in Montgomery. Look at that lead. Almost 190,000 votes lead for the Democrats here. Almost 190,000 votes in Montgomery. And then in Philadelphia, Jesus Christ, 140,000 to 14,000. That's 10 times the total. It's 81 to 8. That's plus 73. That's 73 points. Plus the independents. Half of them are going to go to. It's about like 85 to 13 lead. So it's crazy how. And then let's finally go over to Allegheny. And our big vote getting 100 and that's about 90,000 votes here. Not as much as in Montgomery and Philadelphia, but that is a 44 point lead just about there in Allegheny in the early votes. And let's just check on Let's just check on Southeast Philly. 59 to 28. That's 31 points. Well, let's just say 60 to 28. That's 32 points with a 24,000 vote gap here for Republicans and Democrats. So again, a lot of vote in Eastern PA goes to the Democrats. Philadelphia and areas like that go to Republicans, and then Central PA, that's where the biggest amount of votes for Republicans are. That's where they gained the other ground. All right, next up, North Carolina. This is going to be a very test of what happens on election night. Is North Carolina. Again, this was the final early vote total. Narrow lead for Republicans here. That's early and in person. Early in person. Mail. Democrats lead big. These independents half go here, half go here. But look at that. 70,000 votes just separates the Democrats and Republicans here. Over half of the, I think this is over half of the 2020 votes have been casted so far in North Carolina, which is insane. The expected vote has been cast. We're closing in on 2020 turnout levels here, but it's looking very good right here in northern North Carolina for the Democrats. It's also looking very good down here for the Democrats. A lot of the votes are in Lake and Mecklenburg, and then the rest are just separated out throughout the state. Pretty even divide among Democrats, Republicans, and Independents. North Carolina could come down to where these 1.37 million independents voted for. If and I think they need each candidate needs like about 55 to win percent of the vote to win here. So it needs to win. Again, a lot of Republican support here in the eastern part of the state. In the north central part of the state, that's where Democrats do well, and in the south central part of the state, and then the eastern part, that's where the Republicans go back and do well. But that is an insane amount of numbers there. Now, Michigan. Over 2.5 million have voted early. And big votes here for the Democrats. That is big news here. Is look at this. The top three is right here. Detroit, Oakland. It's Oakland, Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, and then Kent. That's Grand Rapids. This counts for a ton of votes. That's about 720. That's about 1 million votes in just those 4 counties. That's almost half of what we got here for the total state. Could be good for the Democrats. We don't know the numbers yet. But we know a lot of it is from in here and right here. That signals good for the Democrats. But we, again, will never know until the votes are actually counted. Now let's go to Florida. $7 million voted early here in Georgia. I think they're closing in on their 2020 result in Florida, numbers in Florida, but it's a 11-point lead for the Republicans here in Florida's early votes. Now the Democrats lead by 200,000. In early in person, the Democrats probably are down probably by 1 million in early in person. Would be nice to see the map. Yeah, it's 1 million. It's 1.1 million more Republicans voted early in person. This is just disaster. It might not be disastrous right now, but it looks disastrous. Like 2022 point disaster. Look at this. Republican Miami-Dade, Republican Seminole, Republican Duval, Republican Tampa Bay. Look at this dark red up here in the panhandle, and then look at this dark red now, and then look at this dark red right here. It is possible that most of the turnout for Republicans is in these areas right here, and that we're underestimating Democratic election day votes. But if this trend continues, Florida will be called at 8 o'clock if these numbers translate to the actual election. But again, we'll see what happens with the election day vote. But this just looks disaster for the Republicans. Now let's go over to Georgia. I thought that was Georgia, but it was Florida. A ton of split ticketing there in 2022. 4 million votes cast here in Georgia. I think that's about half of 2020's number. So it could be very, very close to the turnout from 22. Wait for the map to roll. But look at this. Fulton with that insane gap there. Insane. That's a ton of votes there in Fulton. So Fulton, we got to get some reads here. Fulton. 416,000 votes early. Gwinnett. About 300,000. Cobb. 292,000. DeKalb. 271,000. Forsyth. 108,000. Let's go over to Augusta. 51,000. Savannah. 91,000. Athens, 36,000. Again, this is pretty good results here in the Democratic strongholds here. I think that's all I gotta go over for Georgia. So let me just end on this. I'm all the way in Mexico. Let's get over to Texas. So Texas has exceeded turnout numbers from 2018, 2022. That is just bad. But they exceeded numbers from 18. They exceeded 16, 18, and 2022 numbers in early voting and votes. From what I heard, it's 80% of the way of the turnout from 2020. And a lot of the votes are up here in Dallas, in the metropolitan around Dallas. One of my follows on Twitter, Fat Ugly Rat, he has a um has a good spreadsheet of what's going on up there. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you everyone for watching my early vote breakdown series. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.